So I got a bunch of these plywood pallets, a whole fuck ton of them, and I'm planning on using them for the interior of my van. So I've already started using them in a few places, but nothing like free wood. So these things are quite a bitch to get apart. I've tried a good few methods and different things I've seen on YouTube, but what I'm about to show you right now is what I think is the best method. Easiest, and leaves the plywood the most unscathed, as well as you get to keep some of these as well if they're in good enough condition. I've had these pallets sitting out in the rain for a while, so I don't know what all is salvageable, but make do with what I can. Here's the tools that I'm using. Hammer, sledge, a little hole punch. I'll show you, but that's for later. Couple of pry bars and a jigsaw. All right, so step one is gonna be using the jigsaw, and what we're gonna be doing is cutting little lines right there, right there, right there, basically only leaving these nubs left over. Real quick, important note, gloves, ear protection, eye protection, you know the deal. All right, so now that you've gotten these pieces taken off, you can set these aside and use them for something else, or you can trash them. What we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be prying these up. So I'll show you real quick from afar, then I'll show you up close. So basically, take your sledgehammer. You could use a regular hammer if you want, but I find this is easier. Put one pry bar in. Second, then you just push. In opposite directions. Sometimes you're on the corner, you can only come in from the sides. You just gotta be a little careful that you don't put too much pressure on one side, because then you can damage the plywood. And there you go. Sometimes they're not going to want to go with that. You got to come at it from a few different angles. Eventually, you'll work it off. There we go. Right, now that that's done, we're going to make a little platform for this to sit on while we hammer out all the nails. And we're just going to be using these blocks. So, one last tool I forgot to tell you about, the vice grips. That can be useful if the nails start going, bending, all funny. Sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. Like for this one, it's not coming out super smoothly, so it allows me to just put a little more force and know that it's gonna come out all right. All right, I can see here that there's one nail that must have gotten sheared somehow. So I'll show you what I do with the hole punch. So what we're gonna do is you take the hole punch, line it up right on that nub, and you just hammer it through. And usually I feel around the bottom to make sure that there's enough of a head to pick up on the other side when I'm getting all the nails out. All right, now that we got all the nails through, it's just a matter of removing them from the other side and cleaning it up. There it is. Got the piece of plywood fully separated, de-nailed. There's a couple little spots where I got some damage. Nothing too major. I think that that's probably just because of how long this pallet's been sitting out. So that's my favorite method of disassembling these pallets. Another thing you can do is take a Sawzall and cut in between the plywood and this block. Problems I've found with that is you still have to pry a little gap in order to get in there. And also, you have to hit all the nails out with the little hole punch, which I find that to be a lot harder than just hitting the whole nail out. I could see that method being better for older, crustier pallets like this, which when you put a lot of pry force on them, it's gonna damage the pallets. And I guess you could even go a little bit further up. So pry between two of the plies of the block, sawzall in between, and then just pry that one first layer off so there's not as much forces. If you really want to take pristine care of these pallets, then maybe that's the move. But if you're trying to get them done, then do my method.